Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'd like to present you with a running and driving F11. Finished in, I believe, Sophisto Gray, which is color B90, A90, something along those lines. Presents itself really good. It took me about 6 weeks to get this fixed. As you can see from the other videos on the channel, how it looked before. Body's pretty straight. Looks pretty good. Drives pretty well. Likes to go over some of the stuff that's been done, some of the stuff that needs to be done still, and just an overall update of where we're at, what we still need to do. So this was a halogen car. It had H7 bulbs all around. The donor car that had the pieces that came, the entire front end, all the radiators, the bumper support, rad support, hood, and whatever miscellaneous pieces and stuff like that. And also came with these bi-xenon pre-LCI ABL headlights because they have active bend control or whatever that's called. So fun fact is they're not plug and play. I had to code the car to include the function 522, which is HID, and then 524, which is AHL. But to my dismay, at least I have low beams and my blinkers work. High beams currently are MIA, and the ABL function sort of doesn't work properly. Everything works when it's in auto, but when you turn it on to one, it doesn't necessarily work as it should. But whatever, I already figured out what the issue is. Of course, nobody has done this swap properly, because if you have a H7 headlight, you could just buy a H7 HID kit and code out the bulb failures, which I see on the internet everybody does. The only other mods that I've seen that people do from the halogen cars are the post LCI full LED swaps, but those require a lot of work. Chances are you're going to need an FRM, aside from a myriad of other changes with the wiring. On this particular one, I found that the high beam from the H7 lights doesn't necessarily go to the high beams. On the ABL lights, they actually control the ABL motors. That signal from the FRM on this car, and there's a FRM, I believe, on the second connector, pin 41. There's actually a bi-xenon shutter light cable that's supposed to go out into the engine bay. I have to double check and see if that exists. If not, I have to pin it from the FRM over to the lights. I have to add, I believe, 2 grounds, and that should make it work. I don't know, we'll see how annoying that gets. That includes me having to take the bumper off, the lights out, because of course, as you can tell, there's no room. Anyway, let me show you what stuff looks like on the inside. Obviously, all the airbags have been replaced. All the tensioners are good. This thing gets in the high 30s mpg US, which is about 6 liters or so per 100,000, per 100 kilometers on the highway. I have an issue with the washer fluid system. The tank is cracked, I believe. I gotta take that apart, so that's still something to do. Pedestrian protection system, this is the thing that pops up the hood. Everything is good except the front sensor. As I mentioned before, I tried coding it out. For whatever reason, it wasn't working, so I have to end up going to the dealer. The car is covered by the extended service for the EGR cooler. So next time I'm there, I'm actually going to order the sensor. Turn this off, and then when I'm doing the light upgrade or the light fix, I'm going to install it at that time because everything's going to be apart. What else? I gotta wire the camera up. It's gonna be going here into the console. There's a bunch of wires going in. I just gotta figure out which one is hot when in position 2, and then I need it to die off so that way it doesn't drain the battery. What else? AC has to be recharged because it's not, obviously. Windows are out, all that fun stuff. I'm gonna see if after my change we could use the top one is your HID cars. The bottom one is your H7 halogen cars, because it also includes if your car is loaded and doesn't have airbags and it doesn't have automatic self-leveling control, you level it like this. So if you have a lot of stuff in the back and the headlights, your bottom dips and the headlights start pointing up, you could lower it by a couple of degrees. It's a European thing. But we'll see. This one seems to work with the bi-xenons. I just don't know how well, if there's any issues, so I bought this one just in case. If anything, I'll just install it. But it's a 3-pin system, and it runs with the LIN bus. So I don't know. I didn't see any changes or issues with stuff like that. So that's all fun. What else? What else? What else? I have a full trunk of a bunch of things that still need doing. This is the business end, and the car was painted and fixed for a reasonable amount here. And the good thing is it didn't take a lot of time. It wasn't very expensive, but the quality of the work is, I would say, like a 6 or a 7, give or take. Unfortunately, the people that were doing it, they lost all my clips, so I had to get new ones. They're not OEM. They misplaced these guys, so they installed some crappy ones. I got to get those. What else? I got new filters in there. I got the belt that's on there that's new. This pipe is brand new because it was cracked. This little resonator thing was cracked. Cool thing is this car was serviced pretty well. So they already changed the wheel here. I have the tensioner. I have a water pump and a thermostat. The thermostat housing. I got new hoses for it. A new intake boot hose for the cooler. I got to go check the EGR out. If the EGR gets replaced, then we're going to do everything else, because I got to do the oil change. I got to do the liquid moly engine flush. I got to do a coolant flush, brake flush. It's due for it. Brakes are good. Front brakes are good. Rear, I'm going to get different size wheels. I don't like these. These just don't fit the persona of the vehicle. I have a bunch of crap in here. Intake runners, I believe they're called. So that's a usual failure, so that's going to get cleaned. There's an oil filter housing leak that I got stuff for. All the usual suspects. What else? Coolant, thermostat, all that fun stuff. Tensioner, all OEM parts, which is how we roll with these vehicles. But overall, quite happy. Maybe not so happy with the 6 or 7 paint job and quality of work that's done underneath, but car drives straight, there's no loose ends. That makes me very happy. And it was cheap. This is a run-of-the-mill car, you know. This is stuff I'm going to be using around town just to shuttle the kids around. Wife's going to scratch it. I'm going to scratch it. Somebody's going to ding it, scratch it. Who cares? It's a cheap car. It's good. I'll let you know how much it set me back so far. Here in Europe, I paid, the prices are in Polish zloty, so 21,000 for the car. There's a car vertical report for 90 zloty. Insurance was 850 for the year. Registration, I did it remotely through an agency, was 350. The metalwork was 2,800. The installation of the cross member was 500. A brand new windshield was 1,100. Miscellaneous parts, so the front end, the dashboard, airbags, lights, all the maintenance stuff that I bought for the car, filters, fluids, clips. I had to buy the connectors for the headlights. I'm including all that. Those were about 16,000, give or take. It's worth it. 1,400 for paint. And a miscellaneous charge for 550. God, I forget what it is. But there's still a bunch of stuff to do. So that comes to about 43,000, which is about some shy of 11,000 US, which is pretty reasonable for a car that has a decent history. It doesn't have any previous damage, previous issues. It was serviced. It has a full service history for it, in both independents and the dealer network, which is nice. It's hard to find something like this. So what else? The sensor has to get fixed. Wheels and tires are going to be different. Plans are for the MBT retrofit, just a regular one. I'll use an MMI, and I'll install an OE rear view camera. Thank you everyone for your support. Please like and subscribe. My next video is going to be coming out very soon. We're going to be taking care of the lights. I'm going to try to get a little bit more color around it so that way you guys understand a little bit more, and it's documented a little bit better on the internet than it has been up to this point. But any little bit helps. Any likes, any subscriptions, that really goes a long way, helps the algorithm. I really appreciate it. Thank you and take care. I'll see you in the next one.